I want to tell you a little bit about the technology we're using. It's something called LiveU.
And we've got a special weapon to help us follow the traffic situation. This is the view from what's called LiveU.
It would be the first live-streamed crowd surfing.
We have what basically looks like a backpack from a company called LiveU.
LiveU mobile technology.
Live on a plane, live from inside a car.
Live on Lake Michigan.
They are the pioneers of a technology called cellular bonding.
Hello, and welcome to a special LiveU event. I'm Mike Savello, the Vice President of Sales at LiveU, and we're coming to you live today from Boston. Thank you for joining us for what I believe is going to be a pivotal moment in live broadcasting and live production. We have an exciting announcement to make that is going to change the rules of the game for how news, sports, and other events are produced. At LiveU, we continue to be at the forefront of innovation. Over the last 14 years, we've pushed the limits of technology to make it easier and more cost-effective for organizations to tell compelling stories with live video. We continue to create solutions that enable broadcasters, sports producers, and production companies around the globe to achieve things that would otherwise be impossible. Our latest innovation will break boundaries and drive unlimited possibilities. It is my distinct honor to introduce the world's first multi-camera production-level field unit, the LU800. Wow. Here to talk about all the unlimited possibilities the LU800 represents is our Senior Director of Product Management, Chris Perry. Welcome, Chris.
Thanks, Mike. It's so great to be here today. I'm so excited to go over some of the highlights of the LU800. So let's start off with some of the advantages of the platform. So first of all, multi-camera production. So in the LU800, we've got 4 SDI inputs. This can handle either single link 12G, quad 3G SDI for 4K, or 4 individual 1080p 60 streams, and you can stream that all back to your studio with up to 70 megabits of throughput, even over cellular. Second of all, 10-bit HDR. It's bringing a new standard to consumers with lifelike colors and contrast, and this is available on the LU800 with both HD and 4K resolutions. Third, it was designed from the ground up with custom-built antennas to support 5G networks. The LU800 can support up to 8 5G modems, delivering a truly future-proof platform. Finally, it is optimized for remote production everywhere. It can handle up to 16 channels of audio. It has 2 audio returns that can either be used for IFB, intercom, or both. It has support for 4 tally lights, a video return on a full-size HDMI port, and even 2 separate Wi-Fi interfaces and 2 separate Ethernet interfaces for the ultimate flexibility and connectivity. Plus, every new LiveU product comes with our own custom-designed LiveU backpack, And this one is no exception. We've got a killer backpack to go along with this. So Mike, I think it's pretty easy to see how this is a big game changer and all of the impressive stuff that we've been able to get into such a beautiful package.
It sure is, Chris, but don't take our word for it. We spoke with a few end users about how they see the LU800 impacting their business and the way they produce content. Our Director of Sports, Janelle Fleming, joins us now with a special guest. Janelle, what can you share?
Thanks, Mike. I'm sitting here today with Brad Cheney, the VP of Field Operations and Engineering at Fox Sports. Brad, thank you so much for joining us today.
Glad to be with you all.
So Brad, the global pandemic has had a big impact on sports, with some saying that sports production will be changed forever. What are some of the new realities that sports broadcasters will face in the future, and how will the LU800 play into that?
Well, as we continue forward out of the pandemic here, what we're going to find is the appetite for consumption is going to continue to skyrocket like we've seen in the past couple of years. And that, you know, the goal of providing customized content to people from a single production is going to be ever increasing. And that desire, as we slowly emerge from this, is going to be seen. And products like the LU800 are going to help drive that capability for all of us, because the more you can provide easy ways to encode video and distribute video and productions, the better off we're all going to be in serving all of our customers.
So I know Fox Sports was one of the first broadcasters to truly leverage 5G technology to produce live coverage, first out of the US Open Golf and then more recently the Super Bowl in Miami. What possibilities does the LU800 with its built-in 5G support open up for you?
I mean, the beauty of 5G has always been, you know, latency. And the faster that we can speed things up and move things across the network, the better off we are. And what this allows us to do is not only take care of the latency factor of increasing, you know, or lowering the amount of time it takes us to get from an LU800, you know, to our network center to a production unit in order to produce programming is going to be, you know, a huge gain for us. But you couple that with the ability to get 50 megabits a second and to be able to do 1080p HDR or 4K HDR across this link really gives us the flexibility to do things that we haven't been able to do in the past from remote locations. And really the LU800 is the driver behind that for us in moving that kind of product set forward, and also being able to move video and audio around at really quick levels.
That's great. Brad, thanks so much for joining you. This has been great insight. We really appreciate the folks at Fox Sports, and we look forward to when sports comes back. So thank you.
Glad to be here today.
I know I'm excited to see what Fox Sports has in store for us and what they'll do with the new LU800. Back to you, Mike.
Thanks, Janelle. Very interesting to hear Brad talk about how the desire for more and more sports content will continue to grow, and the importance that HDR, 4K, and high bandwidth, low latency 5G in the LU800 will bring to bear on the future of sports production. Couple that with the new normal, where many sports events at all levels will take place without fans, at least in the short term, and the need for inexpensive multi-camera sports production and distribution will be key. This is where LU800 is at its strongest. Chris?
Yeah, for sure. So switching gears a little, we've already mentioned the LU800 was designed from the ground up to support 5G. Here, our VP of Engineering joins us live. Dan Pizarski has been immersed in all things 5G and is going to walk us through some of the support inside of our unit.
Thanks, guys. You know, LiveU has been working with 5G technology for years. Through our work in the Horizons 2020 Research Project and Public-Private Partnership in Europe, our work with AT&T on the NBA Summer League and All-Star Games, our work with KT in Korea and Docomo in Japan, we've been preparing for 5G. And the LU800 is a culmination of all that work. It's a custom-built unit for 5G. We looked at the idea of retrofitting an older unit for 5G, and what we found is that specific needs of 5G modems and 5G antennas was going to lead to a unit whose performance was not what we wanted in the 5G technology. We decided we had to custom design a unit with specific support for 5G, and that really led to a unit that we feel will have complete support for all of the different 5G technologies. What the LU800 is going to support is up to 8 modems using the new radio protocol in 6 gigahertz and below, as well as LiveU's well-known dual SIM technology that allows you to leverage 2 SIMs per radio, connecting to the best network wherever you are in the world. But for the end user, this is all really going to be seamless. The unit will connect to nearby 5G networks, bond those networks with other networks including LTE, and give you all those 5G traits that we're looking forward to. Lower latency, deterministic latency, and higher throughput, of course. 5G can be a complicated technology. I'm sure you have some more questions about it. Make sure to leave your questions for us and we'll try to get to every single one. We're very excited to talk about the LU800 and 5G. Now back to Chris and Mike.
5G is a pretty complex technology, and to support the breadth of 5G capabilities, including millimeter wave on up to 8 5G modems, required a ground-up platform redesign. That is the LU800. But it's not just sports that will benefit from 5G, Chris. The LU800 with 5G will certainly change the news industry as well.
Yeah, Mike, for sure. So as a longtime news guy myself, I was pretty excited to sit down just yesterday and talk with Director of Bureau Operations at CBS News, Walt Leading. Walt, thank you so much for joining us. Now, as most folks know, LiveU has helped to reshape how news gathering is done. With the LU800, we're raising that bar once again, giving the broadcast market innovative ways to improve the quality of their news product. What are you most excited about with the LU800?
I think the ability to use multiple cameras with one transmitter just says it all. We do so many remote productions. This past weekend was at Kennedy Space Center. We had 7 cameras there, and we had 7 LiveUs. So to have one unit that I can plug all cameras into and they're all in sync is a game changer.
Now, the last few months have been a pretty big change in how news is created, with anchors broadcasting from home and production being pushed to the cloud. How do you think this will impact the future of the news, and what role can the LU800 play here?
I think that the fact that we've moved into this new production model of anchors broadcasting from their homes has opened the door to new possibilities, and it's really helped us a great deal to learn more about how we can do these things better. So the LU800 is going to really help us with multiple cameras in a single path. Again, we've got 2 LiveUs, for example, at each anchor location. The LU800 combining those 2 cameras being transmitted at the same time is going to help us with 2 paths in one shot, and we're done.
So cellular technology has come a long way from the days of 2G when the first LiveU product was released. Can you discuss a little about what 5G will mean to CBS News?
The increased speeds are only going to help us when we're in a situation where it's a popular event and everybody's, sharing the same bandwidth and hogging it. I mean, the ability to get a better picture at a higher bit rate is only going to help us. And multiple channels, all the better.
Well, thank you so much for the time. Really looking forward to seeing how you guys use the LU800 in the field.
Can't wait to try it out. Send us one.
Mike, it was really, really great to talk to Walt yesterday and about especially how multi-camera production is going to have such a big impact on live news. I think we should get him one as soon as possible.
I agree, Chris. Well, we've already heard from Fox Sports and CBS News, but the LU800 also has big advantages for production companies who are doing remote production, or REMI. Let's go back to Janelle for some insights on that. Janelle?
Thanks, Mike. I'm here with Scott Railing, president of L2 Productions. Scott, thanks for joining me.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
So Scott, as a longtime user of LiveU's wireless at-home production, how will the LU800 help you grow your business even more?
Yeah, I think for us it's going to be the fact that you can carry multiple camera feeds on a single unit. In the at-home world, we're always doing at least 4 cameras on every event, sometimes, many more than that. But, today we have to have a single unit for each camera feed, right? So I think for us, that's going to be the biggest game changer, is the ability to carry 4 camera feeds on a single unit. So if I think about these venues, we work with a lot of colleges where you've got pre-wired stadiums, basketball arenas and football arenas where the camera positions are tied to a control room through an in-venue fiber infrastructure, for example. I think we have a possibility of developing another version of our at-home and REMI production solution by doing more of a hybrid with our customers, where we could leverage their cameras and their camera operators on site with that single LU800 sitting in a control room that can receive multiple camera feeds from all over the arena and then transmit those back to our studios in Austin for production. So I think for us, it's going to be that feature, the ability to carry multiple camera feeds on the single unit.
So being that you produce content for OTT networks, broadcast linear channels, can you tell me how 4K HDR production will revolutionize your solutions?
Well, certainly for the higher end clients, your linear TV networks, so the TV broadcasts that we do in the sports world, they're certainly interested in the highest possible quality images, so they're all moving in the direction of HDR and 4K and these higher end formats. So that's certainly attractive to those clients. Pretty much everything we do in music, that has always been the case. The music clients, the festivals and the big artists and so forth, they want everything to be the highest possible quality in terms of the image. So that whole market is interested in HDR and 4K. So the fact that that's now available in our at-home production solution is pretty exciting. We can start to do some of these higher-end applications for these bigger networks and for the music clients with our existing workflow, but now with higher quality images. So I think that's definitely going to be a big deal for us.
Well, thanks, Scott, so much for your time and insight. I can't wait to see your business continue to grow and see what you end up doing with this LU800.
Well, you're quite welcome, and we're very excited about this, so thank you very much.
So if you needed any more evidence how the LU800 is going to revolutionize sports production, there you have it. Back to you, Mike.
Thanks, Janelle. Scott is a great example of how production companies can use LU800 and REMI to do significantly more live events. In many ways, we built LU800 for these use cases, and I'm excited to see all the new content it has enabled as a result. Chris, we're actually making it even easier to automate production, right?
Yeah, Mike, for sure. So one of the things that we have in this new platform, the LU800, is what we call IP pipe. So you can do something like connect 4 pan-tilt zoom cameras up via SDI into the LU800, as well as their IP control. Back on the studio side, very simply, you'd connect up the IP controller into the server, and then you can actually use the real controller to pan-tilt and zoom the cameras in the field. Now, this also opens up some other possibilities, things like camera shading, other types of remote control, even the ability to pass something like intercom, IP intercom, over this IP pipe. So it's really a pretty exciting feature, Mike, and I can't wait to see how our customers are able to do this and automate their productions further.
Amazing. So 4 PTZ cameras on a single unit. That would be really a cool production environment.
For sure.
Thanks, Chris. Before we end today, we must take a moment to recognize the team responsible for the LU800. We have some of the best engineers working around the world who have conceived, designed, and built the LU800. Obviously, this is an achievement that we wanted to share with them in person, but given that's not possible right now, we wanted to at least take a moment to recognize their incredible effort. Just a few months ago, LiveU's LU800 teams were full steam ahead when they had to uproot from their labs and move to their dining rooms, their basements, and their home offices. Even with their workflows disrupted, they rallied together to bring the LU800 to life. It's a testament to their expertise and dedication that makes them the best in the business. I know I speak for many here at LiveU when I say thank you to the entire LU800 team. So, Chris, what's next?
Mike, really exciting. Tomorrow night we have a live show. It's going to be a special live show that we're hosting to take a deeper dive into the LU800 and answer some of your questions. So if you haven't done so already, make sure you put those in the chat or comment section, and we'll do our best to answer them tomorrow night on our show. You can join us tomorrow night, Wednesday, June 3rd at 8 p.m. Eastern on Facebook Live. Now, I also want to take a moment and point out that Mike and I are actually in a studio just outside of Boston, while our production team is down in New Jersey. And this is all thanks to LiveU's remote production capability.
Thanks, Chris. And tomorrow night's show will also use our at-home production capability as well. So please tune in. It's going to be a great show. In closing, LU800 truly has unlimited possibilities. Multi-camera transmission, native 5G support, HD and 4K HDR, and a host of production features. We're eager to see how the innovative LU800 gets put to use in news workflows worldwide. Please contact your local LiveU sales rep or partner today for availability and pricing information. And as always, our team of professional services engineers is ready to answer your technical questions. On behalf of myself, Chris, Janelle, Dan, and everyone here at LiveU, thank you for tuning in. Stay safe, and we look forward to seeing you soon.